Well, I finally broke this guy, so that is that for today. Oh, broke the Triumph antenna. Must have been a hard hit. Don't know why it won't arm. But it is what it is, man. Alright, so I hit 2 pretty rad spots in one day, which is not bad. I really needed the flying time because I am rusty. This whole coronavirus thing has kept everyone indoors, and I'm not flying as good as I normally do, so that kind of sucks. So it's really nice to get out and hit 2 spots in the same day. That's great. How did I do that? Well, simple planning. So I planned spot B and spot A ahead of time. Spot B, I had about probably a 50% chance of getting booted out. So if that happened, I could just zip up to spot B, no problems. And that's that. The plan worked out. I got to fly both spots without getting kicked out miraculously. So that's the other factor, is luck. Kind of lucky with that one. So today I probably broke, probably, I know for sure what I broke today. In today's flying, you will probably not see that I broke not a lot of stuff, but I broke a bit of stuff, man. I bent up at least, I lost 1 motor bell, and then I think I bent up 2 other motor bells in one day, which is like a lot. That is because I'm flying near concrete, so that's to be expected when you fly bandos and you're flying concrete and stuff. The crashes really hurt, and not only your quad, but they'll hurt you in the pocket as well. So the only reason I fly bandos is because I like it, but also I have enough experience flying in general that I can fly them pretty confidently. Like, I can sort of granny fly a bando pretty easily without crashing at all. So when I do crash, it's more because I'm trying to do some funky stuff and I get it wrong, and that's cool. If you're not really confident in flying though, I just don't recommend going anywhere near a bando. Like, you've got to really have amazing control of your quad. Otherwise, you're just going to break stuff. It's up to you when you start or however you do it or whatever, but just know that it's costly in bandos. It costs you. You know, it's even costing me. Motor bells are not super expensive, but it's like 3 in one day is a lot. That's way more than I would normally break. Of course, I went through some props and all that as well. Beyond that, there are problems with the quads. So the quad with the LEDs, I busted one of the LEDs. That is going to happen, man. If you fly a full LED quad in a bando and it smashes things, you're going to smash LEDs. It's just the way it goes. So I've got to probably remove the LEDs from that one quad. Also, the LED quad doesn't do turtle mode anymore, and I don't know why. And it doesn't give me proper voltage telemetry, and I don't know why that is either. Could be because I dropped that quad in water when I was flying in the mall. And, you know, the quad was fine after a few days, no problem, took it up, it flew. But that telemetry thing started happening. I don't know if it's from the Crossfire side of things or the KISS flight side of things. So really, although that quad is good for close range, backup kind of stuff, it probably needs a full rebuild just to get everything working. Like, I could not take that quad out and fly it in a really big, gigantic, long range, crazy area. Because sometimes, you know, like if you do mountain flying or stuff like that, hey, if you mess it up, sometimes turtle mode's the only way you're getting your quad back. And these days, you know, not having turtle mode is just not cool. I know there was years and years of flying that happened before turtle mode was a thing, but honestly, the number of times I can save a quad with turtle mode is pretty nuts. So it's very nice to have it working, and you need reliable voltage too. Like, I have voltage coming through on my camera as well as my friggin' Tirana, so it's speaking to me as well as like showing it to me. So yeah, if I have a low battery, I can, you know, the camera OSD, which is just a camera OSD, it'll start blinking and say, yo, battery's screwed, dog. But by the time the voltage gets low enough for the camera to start freaking out, voltage is pretty low, and it, you know, I wouldn't want to be like halfway away in the zone and not like notice that until the last minute and go, oh crap. So there's a bit of so what could you say? There's a bit of turnover that does happen, even though I haven't had to replace whole quads or anything like that. I still sometimes have to do the maintenance, and sometimes I break stuff, and I can't really complain given the places I'm flying and how I'm flying, but it's something to keep in mind, right? Like, you don't really need, like, how can I say this? Like, I don't think people should feel pressure to just do stuff that looks cool if you're not 100% confident with it. I would argue that whatever you're doing with your quad, it should be fun first and foremost. You shouldn't be trying to pull off stuff for the interwebs or what have you if you're not super comfy flying the quad, and if you're not totally fine like losing the quad, basically. You know, you can, there's like so many ways. Like last weekend, for example, I got kicked out of a spot that was cool, and I ended up in the middle of a parking lot, and I flew there, no problem. I just didn't post the video, and no big deal, man. You know, like, some days you're lucky, and some days you're just gonna have those days where you're not lucky. Today is maybe even. I was lucky to be able to fly both spots, but one of my quads, when I switched the motor, I had one quad with a reverse motor. I didn't bring my soldering iron, so I was unlucky in that sense that I didn't have the backup quads going. But hey, on a day like today, I can't complain at all. However, if it was the kind of day where I went on a massive like road trip and drove, say, you know, 2 hours or whatever to get to a spot, that would be a pretty bad scene, actually. So, you know, there's different levels to which you should maintain your quads, and you gotta like fly them accordingly. If your quads are only like so-so, then only fly like so-so far away from you, and in spots where you know you can get the quad back, and yada yada and so forth. For the really longer range stuff that I'm planning on doing, the quads need to be rock solid. They've got to have rock solid range, they got to have rock solid telemetry, rock solid video. Like, everything has to be up to par on both quads, because otherwise you're driving out for hours and hours. You go to a spot and, oh gee, one quad's down, and then it's pretty easy to break the other quad, and then your day's over, and that sucks because you wasted a whole bunch of time. So that is kind of a really convoluted way of saying what goes on behind the scenes. It's like, there is a lot of effort in maintaining your stuff, right? It's not just free stuff forever and all that, and no maintenance, and just, you know, charge your batteries and go every weekend. That's great when it's like that, but every now and then, you know, you got to go back into maintenance mode. It's just a fact. Every now and then stuff will break. That's just a fact. And some days you're going to have really bad days where a lot of things break. That's just also a fact. So yeah, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say or whatever, but fuck, did I take the wrong? I think I took the wrong. Did I miss my exit? Yeah, I missed my exit. That's why you shouldn't vlog and drive, I guess. My car gets great gas mileage though. So let's see. Like, I had a plan where I want to go out somewhere farther away tomorrow and do some longer range stuff, but now that may be up in the air because I've got to do a bunch of like fixing of quads and stuff, and I don't know, you know, like, I wouldn't really want to go and do that until my quads are 100%. So yeah, moral of the story is you got to put in the work, and nothing's as glamorous as it seems, and it doesn't always go according to plan. So, you know, enjoy the good days and don't get too pissed off about the bad days.